Very good morning to one and all, and I welcome you all for the next lecture of Production Operation Management. Kindly let me know whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Great, great. Thank you. So, thank you, Rohit. Uh, I request everyone, you can tilt the screen or you can use the zoom feature of uh, Google Meet and you can see in detail this particular slide. Okay, large data is compensated on one slide so that um, the visibility is not that much good. So I request everyone, you can tilt your mobile or rotate your mobile screen, then the slide will also get enlarged, or else you can use the zoom feature also, so that the data whichever presented on this slide will be visible to you. Okay, so many time consumed for your joining purpose. I think near about 8 minutes. That should not be case afterward, because your time is also valuable and my time is also valuable. So try to cope up with the situation, and whenever there is a lectures, links are sent to you, join as early as possible. Don't wait uh, for the others to join and then afterward I will join. Okay, so I will start with the next point. That is nothing but historical revolution of production and operation management. So when we can say that this production and operation management theme come into the world, actually the production system, what is meant by production system? Producing something was present in ancient era also. Okay, you can see uh, uh, the temples, okay, which was built in 2000 in 200 BC, okay, 200 BC century. Some pyramids which was built in ancient era, then a Great China Wall which was built in ancient era. So production system was present in the world from the inception of we can say that the human beings, okay, because a human being at the early stage also creating the caves for the staying purpose, okay, and they are doing something extra. They are preparing their swords and the equipments uh, for killing the animals and all that things. So production system was present from the early stage of human being, but the management comes in the 17th century. Okay, the management related to that particular production system comes in the 17th century, and it will happen. It was happen because of industrial revolution. Okay, which comes in the 17th century in Western countries, and because of that, there is another theme comes in the world of production, that is nothing but production and operation management, and it start with Adam Smith, who has given one theory related to the specialization of labors in the manufacturing. Okay, before that, there is no such a theory or no such a practical orientation related to the specialization of labors in the manufacturing sector. Okay, and in 1976, Adam Smith was uh, uh, given this theory and implemented in the industries also, and it is widely accepted by every industry, because a specialization is required. If you don't know how to perform the job, then you are unskilled worker. Okay, unskilled worker. And if you have such a specialization, like we can say that the welder, okay, the draftman, the operator, so these specializations are there. If you change the task, then there will be the problem for that particular worker to work on a different machines, or to work on a different job profile. Okay, and some time required to cope up the new situations, or to cope up with the new job responsibility. So Adam Smith has provided that specific tasks should be provided to the specific worker only. Okay, that is nothing but specialization, and the skill upgradation should be happen in that particular sector or in that particular area only. Okay, so then in 1799, Whitney, Ely Whitney, and their subordinates propose the theory of interchangeable parts and their cost accountings. Okay, so we know that to increase the volume, uh, okay, to increase the volume of a production, we should go for the standardization. Okay, if there is no standardization, then that particular production will be considered as the job shop production. Means what? For a particular job, we have to design special or special design is required, and then we go for the manufacturing of that job. Okay, and if you go for the standardization of any component, okay, if you go for the any standardization of any component and the dimensions and the design related to that component, okay, standardization of a dimension, standardization of uh, design, then the repetitiveness will come in that particular production, and the volume of production will get increased. So that theme will be applicable for the mass production. Okay, and if there is no standardization, then we have to prepare new design, we have to provide the new specification for every job. Okay, for every job, and this standardization will lead to the interchangeable parts. This standardization will lead to the interchangeable parts. Means what? If you say that the nut and bolt standardization, okay, so the specific standard nuts and bolts are used everywhere, okay, for a particular application. Okay, and this is one kind of a standardization. Okay, then the spanners, which are used to loose or tighten the nut and bolts, so these are also standard in the world. Everywhere you will see the same kinds of a spanner or toolbox. Okay, so that is nothing but interchangeable parts. The theory related to the interchangeable parts was proposed and implemented by the Ely Whitney in 1799. Then in 1832, the Charles Babbage proposed the division of labors by their skills and the assignments of a job by their skills on the basis of a time study. Okay, on the basis of a time study. Now, division of labor means what? So, division of, let us say, one of the worker is newly admitted in the industry. So, the tag is provided to that worker as unskilled worker. Okay, and that particular worker spend near about 1 to 2 years in that industry in a specific workstation, or some skills are upgraded after spending 1 to 2 years in a particular company or for a particular job profile. Then the skills of that worker or employee will get upgraded. Okay, then the tag of tag of that particular worker will get changed, and the new tag is provided, that is semi-skilled worker. And after spending more than 5 years, the worker will get expertise in that sector, or in that specific machine, on that particular specific machine, or on particular job profile. So the tag will be changed. That is nothing but skilled worker. That is nothing but, this is, I have given the example of a division of a labors, and accordingly the assignments of a jobs. Okay, accordingly the assignments of a job should be assigned for a specific worker. Should be assigned for a specific worker. Okay, and this study was given by Charles Babbage in 1832. Then in 1900, the industrial, there is another revolution in the field of industrial engineering. You might be learn about this, about the time study, then work study, and division plannings and doing the works. Okay, So this part is most important part in the industries now also, doing the time study, how much time is required to perform the task on a specific machine by specific skilled worker, okay, by specific skilled worker or unskilled worker or semi-skilled worker. So and the job is divided into steps, different steps, okay. The job is divided into different steps, and for each step how much time is required, that is nothing but time study and work study. So this is the scientific approach to evaluate the job, okay, or to evaluate the production process, okay. And this process or this time study and work study you have learned in industrial engineering, and this is now also this particular concepts are implemented in the industries, okay. Then in 19th century, once again the Gilbert, okay, given the motion study, okay. Motion study means which motions of a body of a human being or workers are involved, or which parts are involved. Let us say you are using the hand, and how your hand is performing the task on a specific job, okay. So that particular motion is captured by visual cameras, and the study oriented to that motions of a human hand, human eyes, okay, human legs, okay, at the job station or workstation is studied in a motion study, okay. And there are different analysis techniques and how to reduce that particular motion, okay. Motion reduction will help to reduce the human efforts at the workstation, and once the human efforts will get reduced, the time required to produce that component will also get reduced, okay. Time required to produce that component also get reduced, and the productivity or the efficiency of that worker or the employee will get increased, okay. So here is we can say that the thought process related to the time study and motion study is a micro level study of the things, okay. Micro level study of the operations, okay. And this was done by in 19th century by Frederick Taylor and Frank Gilbert, okay. So this is the important turning point in this operation production and operation management. Then in 1901 the Henry Gantt provided the scheduling techniques, okay, which will be called as a Gantt chart, okay, and also the pie chart, how to produce the pie chart, bar chart on the basis of, and on that basis how to provide the scheduling, okay. Scheduling means what? Assigning the task for the machine or the human being or the worker, okay, assigning tasks to the machines and the worker, okay. That is nothing but scheduling techniques. So scheduling technique for employees machine jobs in a manufacturing process. Then in 1915 you can see that F.W. Harris has provided economical lot sizes for the inventory control, okay. Inventory is the major problem in the industries, and the controlling should be there, okay. If you produce large number of components and there is no space for storing purpose or warehouse, you know that warehouse cost is also get added in that particular product. So if for a long period the component or the product will be stored, okay, then the cost of that storage will get added in that product, okay. Cost of storage is also get added in that particular product. So in that case the economical lot size is beneficial, okay. How much products should be produced and stored, that is very much important in the industrial sector, okay. And it was given by this particular theme, economic lot size, related to the inventory control. Inventory control means storage control, okay. How much component should be produced and how much component should be stored, so that the future demand will be will meet by the production department. Okay, so that is provided by F.W. Harris. Then in 1927, human relationship theory was proposed by Elton Mayo. Okay, and how the workers are behaving and their nature at work location. It was studied by the Elton Mayo. Then in 1931, Shewhart has given the statistical interference applied to product qualities. Okay, like I have said, told you related to the scheduling technique. Okay, same that how the rejections. Okay, quality is related to how much components are rejected per 1,000 component, per 100 component, per lakh component, and how one can represent that rejection uh, uh, in the in the production process or from the customer side. So that rejection, representation of a rejection or representation of a product quality uh, should be represented by uh, uh, pie chart, okay, Gantt chart, or we can say that the bar charts are there. So how that can be represented. So the theory related to that or the practicals related to that was given by the Shewhart. Then next important concept in the quality is nothing but a sampling. Okay, is nothing but a sampling. What is meant by sampling? You may learn this particular concept, sampling. Sometimes companies does not go for the 100% quality check. Okay, sometimes company does not go, or all the companies does not go 100% quality check. So in that case, companies has performed 10% quality check and or the batch quality check by checking only 10 components, 20 components, and they are providing the same reports to the customers. Okay, that we have done the 10% sampling or we have done the 50% sampling, and on that basis they have provided the report. And if this in that particular 100 component batch, in that particular 100 component batch, if you at the customer end, if 10 components are rejected, so there is a MOU with the customer that then also you have to accept that particular lot. But more than 10 components are rejected, okay, let us say 11 components are rejected, then that complete batch of a product will be considered as a rejection, and that will be transferred to the once again to the producer or the industry which are providing the components to the customer industry. So in that case, all the batch of components will be rejected, and all the components will be transferred to the industry. So here the mutual understanding is very much important in between the customer and the supplier. So less than 10 components are rejected at a customer end, then that particular quantity is accepted. So according to the batch, the size of the batch will decide how much acceptance will be there for the rejection in the quality of that particular component. Okay, so the statistical sampling is very much important, and now also in the industries the sampling techniques are used, and these techniques are given by the Dodge and Roaming. Okay, then in 1940 the World War II started, and because of that the need of a fast completion of a projects is arises, and due to that to tackle that particular problem there is a rise of operation research applications, and this implemented in World War II. Okay, then in 1946 the digital computer was invented. Okay, and who is the inventor? John Muchley and JP Eckert, they have invented the digital computer, and that also make lot of changes in the field of production and operation management. Then in 1947 linear programs are developed, okay, by JP Dazing, Williams and others. So the linear program means what? Linear means what? If if you say that this property is a linear function of another property, means what? If you plot the graph, let us say, I'm not assured that it is yes, pressure is directly proportional to volume. Okay, And what it means, directly proportional to volume, that if you increase the pressure, or inversely proportional to volume, PV is equal to MRT. So pressure is directly proportional to temperature. So if you say the pressure is directly proportional to temperature, then in that case, if you increase the pressure, then temperature also get increased. Okay. And if you plot the graph pressure versus temperature, then we will get the linear or one straight line on the graph. Okay. So that is nothing but what? Pressure is linear, or pressure and temperature are having the linear function. Okay. Linear function means line is represented by y is equal to mx plus c. Okay. This equation. So this is a linear function. If any function or any two variables are following this particular equation, then that two variables are considered to be linear variables. Okay. So in the industries, there are n number of variables, we can say that. And if you take the any two variables like workers absentee versus the production count, okay, production number. If absentee increases, the production decreases. Okay. If absentee reduce, production increase. So these two parameters are linearly function with each other, and they will if you plot their count with each other on a graph, then we will get the linear function. So this linear programming will get introduced in 1947 in this production and operation management by Dadzing and Williams and others. Okay. Then in 1950, mathematical programmings introduced. So on the basis of a linear and stoichiometric processes. Linear programming, I have given the example that there are only two variables we are going to consider, okay, on specific conditions, and we are programming the things, okay, or we are producing the mathematical model for that two variables. And stoichiometric process means there are n number of variables included, and their relationship with each other is carried out. That is nothing but stoichiometric mathematical modeling, and it was given by, and the programming related to that was given by James and Cooper and others. Then in 1951, commercial digital computers and came up in the market. Okay. And anyone can purchase that particular computers, and it is available for the commercial uses. So due to that, the computation means what? The analysis of the workforce, analysis of the variables will get more easy. So this credit goes to the Sperry Univac. And then in 1960, the theory related to the organizational behavior, that is nothing but continuous study of the people at workstations, was given by the Cummins and Porter. In 1970, integrated operations into overall strategy and policy, computer applications to manufacturing processes, scheduling and control, and material requirement planning. Okay. So integrated operations is, you can say that the SAP technique. Okay. SAP technique. So technique or SAP software. Okay. SAP software. So it is integrated operating software is there. Like that, the MRP is also there, material requirement procurement. Okay. This like softwares are there. These softwares are introduced in the industries, and which scale up the application of production and operation management. Then in 1980, there is a large we can say that like a tsunami comes from the Japan side in the quality sector, that they have provided, or they have done enormous work on the quality of the product by using the advanced techniques like CAD/CAM, robotics. And in the quality sector, they have done the enormous work related to the Six Sigma, then Kaizen, Kanban, zero defect, 5S methodology. These are the quality tools, and these tools are universally accepted, and due to that, large revolutions comes in the quality sector. And mostly these quality tools was developed by the Toyota company. Okay, mostly these quality tools was developed by the Toyota company. And then after 1980s, there are also so many changes happen in the industries, but this much historical evolutions and of a production operation management is sufficient for your study purpose. Okay, is there any doubt, any question about this historical evolution? Is there any doubt, any question, whether you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. So can you write from this slide? So make 3 columns. One is date or a year, then contribution and contributor. Historical evolution of production and operation management. Okay, make 3 columns. In the date column, write down 1776. Contribution, specialization of labor in manufacturing. Specialization of labor in manufacturing. Specialization of labor in manufacturing. Who is the contributor? Adam Smith. Adam Smith. Okay. There might be 1-2 MCQs from this sheet only. Okay, in your examination. So this sheet, this chart is very much important to write everything from this chart. In 1799, interchangeable parts, comma, cost accounting. Interchangeable parts, comma, cost accounting. Interchangeable parts, comma, cost accounting. Contributor, Ely Whitney or Whitney and others. Ely Whitney and or Whitney and others. Then in 1832, division of labor by skill, comma, assignment of jobs by skill, and basics of time study. Basics of time study. 1832, division of labor by skills, assignment of jobs by skills, and basics of time study. Charles Babbage, contributor, Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage. Okay, then in 1900 or 19th century, scientific management, time study, and work study developed. Scientific management, time study, and work study developed. Scientific management, time study, and work study developed, comma, dividing planning and doing of work, dividing planning and doing of work. Contributor, Frederick W. Taylor. Frederick Taylor. You have seen this name in industrial engineering also. Okay, Frederick Taylor and Gilbert. So Gilbert has given the motion study. Taylor has given the time study and work study concepts. Frederick W. Taylor. Scientific management, time study, and motion study developed, dividing planning and work, doing of work, dividing planning and doing of work. Then in 19th century, once again, motion of study of jobs, motion of study of jobs, motion of study of jobs, motion of study of job. Contributor is Frank Gilbert, Frank B. Gilbert, or Gilbreth. Motion of study of job. Then in 1901, scheduling techniques for employees, machines, jobs in manufacturing. Scheduling techniques for employees, machines, jobs in manufacturing. Scheduling techniques for employees, machines, jobs in manufacturing. Contributor Henry L. Gant. Henry Gant. Henry Gant. Then in 1915, economic lot sizes for inventory control. Economic lot sizes for inventory control. F.W. Harris. Contributor F.W. Harris. Then in 1927, human relations, and that human relations also called Hawthorne studies, human relation, the Hawthorne studies. Contributor is Ilton Mayo. Contributor is Ilton Mayo. Then in 1931, statistical inference applied to product quality. That is nothing but quality control charts. Statistical inference applied to product quality. That is nothing but quality control charts. Contributor is W.A. Shewhart. W.A. Shewhart. Then next, in 1935, statistical sampling, statistical sampling applied to quality control. So it is related to inspection sampling plans. Statistical sampling applied to quality control. Inspection sampling plans. Contributor are H.F. Dodge and H.G. Roming. H.F. Dodge and Roming. Then in 1940, operation research applications, operations research applications in World War II, operations research applications in World War II. Contributors are PM Blacker and others. PM Blacker and others. PM Blacker and others. Then next, in 1946, digital computer, digital computer, digital computer. Contributors are John Muchle and JP Eckert. John Muchle and JP Eckert. Then in 1947, linear programming. Linear programming. Contributors are GB Dadzing, Williams and others. GB Dadzing, Williams and others. Linear programming. GB Dadzing, Williams and others. Then in 1950, mathematical programming, on linear and stochastic processes. On linear and stochastic processes. Mathematical programming on linear and stochastic processes. So linear programming, two variables are including. Stochastic processes, many variables, n number of variables are included and their interrelationship. Okay, programming, mathematical modeling and programming related to linear and stochastic processes. And contributors are A. Chance, W. Cooper and others. A. Chance, W. Cooper and others. Then in 1951, commercial digital computers. Commercial digital computers. Large scale computations available. Large scale computations available. Commercial digital computer, large scale computation available. Contributor Sperry Univac. Then in 1960, organizational behavior continued study of people at work. And basis for this organizational study is 1927 human relations, okay, which was proposed by Ilton Mayo. This study was continued for organizational behavior in 1960, and it was continued by L. Cummings and L. Potter. Organization behavior, continued study of people at work. Contributors are L. Cummings and L. Potter. Then in 1970, integrating operations into overall strategy and policy. Integrating operations into overall strategy and policy. Computer applications to manufacturing. Integrating operations into overall strategy and policy, comma, computer applications to manufacturing, comma, scheduling, comma, and controlling, comma, material requirement planning, in bracket MRP. Integrating operations into overall strategy and policy, comma, computer applications to manufacturing, comma, scheduling and control, comma, material requirement planning, in bracket MRP. Contributors are W. Skinner, J. Orlicki, and G. Wright. Contributors Skinner, Orlicki, and Wright. Then in 1980, quality and production applications from Japan. Quality and production applications from Japan. Quality and productivity applications from Japan. Okay, here the word productivity means what? How much resources are consumed and how much number of products are produced. Let us say you have consumed 1,000 rupees resources. Okay, overall. Let us say on machine, on human being, on energy, capital investment, all these money. If you say, for example purpose, I'm giving 1,000 rupees you have invested, okay, and you have produced the component whose cost is 1,500 rupees. So what will be the productivity? So it is the ratio of output divided by input. Okay, output divided by input. So output having the valuation of 1,500 rupees, and you have invested or you have given the input of 1,000 rupees. So the productivity will be considered as 150% productive. Okay, that particular system, production system, is 150% productive. Okay, so in this manner productivity is measured. Quality and productivity applications from Japan, like robotics CAD CAM, So as we are moving towards or as most of the industries are trying to reduce the human interference in the processes by using the robots, by using the advanced manufacturing processes. Now we are moving for the industry 4.0. So in industry 4.0, as you all aware that most of the work is reduced, human work is reduced in 4.0, and most of the work will be done by machine itself. Okay, so as the human interference get reduced, the quality of the product will immediately increase. Okay, so these things are more important nowadays, and the industries are revolving the next revolution, Industry 4.0 revolution, is about the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. Okay, so we should have a focus on that. Upcoming era is related to IoT only. So, and it was started by this CAD CAM uh, CAD CAM oriented machines, then the robotics, and the pioneer of this uh, is, we can say that, the Japan only. Okay, so the contributor for this things is W.E. Deming and J. Juran. W.E. Deming and J. Juran. Okay, is there any doubt, any question? Is there any doubt, any question in that? If no, shall I move ahead? So the next important point related to the production management is nothing but functions of a production and functions of a personnel which is working on the production management, or which is handling this the production management section in the industry. Okay, so first of all, the activities of a production department of any organizations are grouped into two categories. Which are that two categories? First of all, collect all the resources, whatever the capital is available. Capital you can measure in the sense of a land, in the sense of a machine, in the sense of a liquidity. Liquidity means money. Okay, and the physical resources, raw material on that. So money, you have money, you have land, you have machineries. All these investment, initial investment on these particular things will be considered as a capital investment. So one can say that initially, before starting any production, you have to invest on these things. Okay, initial investment on the land procurement, initial investment on the machine procurement, initial investment to build the buildings or the sheds which required to protect all the inside things. Okay, so all the initial investment will be considered as a capital investment. Okay, then raw material purchase will becomes under the capital investment. Then the salary spent will be considered as a capital investment. So first of all, you have to invest on this all the resources to make the facilities available for the production purpose. Okay, so first activity is activities related to convert the available capital into physical resources required for production. Which are the physical resources? Man, machine, material. Okay, these are the physical resources. So whatever the capital you have, capital means you can measure in the sense of money. Whatever capital you have, whatever money you have, first of all, you have to invest that money to arrange the resources. Okay, so this is one part of a production activity or production department. Then the another part of the production department is nothing but use that resources to convert the raw material into finished goods or a valuable products or the sellable goods and services. So second activity related to that is activities that convert physical resources into sellable goods and services. Okay, sellable goods and services. Now to carry out these activities, the production department must fulfill some of the activity, that is nothing but fulfill following activities. First one is production of goods at the right time. We know how much it is important to produce the goods at the right time and in a sufficient quantity to meet the demand. 1 minute, something, there is a problem. Whether my voice is audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So because my mobile connection is lost, I'm not getting. Okay. So which activities will be basis for this? That is nothing but production of goods at the right time in a sufficient quantity and to meet the demand of the customer. Then the cost should be minimum. Should not be a overhead charges for the production, like reworking, okay, or double working on on the jobs, okay. Then production of goods of acceptable quality. The quality should be produced in a such a manner, or product should be produced in a such a manner that should be accepted by your customer. Or else, if the products will not accepted by your customer, then that will be loss for the company, okay. So desired quality must be achieved by the production department, okay. So these are some of the activities which required to perform that by the production management. Now the personnel, this production management, what activities need to perform that particular personnel or the manager, production manager. Let us say production manager is a production management person, okay. Production management person, he is uh, uh, doing the activity of a production management or operation management. So in that case, what activities need to be performed by that particular person? That is also important. First one is nothing but forecasting the demand for the product and using the forecast to determine the requirement of various factors of a production. Forecasting means what? First of all, understand the meaning of a forecasting. You will understand the meaning of this particular line. Forecasting means predicting the future, okay. Predicting the future on the basis of past data. So that is nothing but a forecasting. Forecasting is a scientific technique which is used for future prediction, okay. Forecasting is a scientific technique for prediction of a forecasting. Now, why we require to predict the future, okay. Okay, obviously now you are going to produce. Now let us say Diwali is coming, Dashera is coming, okay. So any car industry, any um, vehicle industry, two-wheeler industry or four-wheeler industry, their vision is that my product should be available in such a manner in the market so that there should not be scarcity for my product, okay, for this particular function. Because during that functions, the people buying more in India, okay, like gold, like cars, everything, let us say everything, buying more during that particular functional period. So the companies will forecast about that things, and they will increase the demand, they will increase the production quantity, okay. For let us say for the September month, let us say Diwali is in the November, then they will increase the production quantity in September, October and November month, okay. So that is predicting the future on the basis of past data. Past data means what? They are experienced about these things, that in the past it is happening that during this particular period the demand was significantly increased in the market for our products, and because of that we should be ready to fulfill the demand of a customer, okay. To fulfill the demand of a customer. Who is the customer? We are the customer, and we are purchasing that. So for fulfilling our demand, companies want to forecast the demand on the basis of a past data, okay. So first important thing should be known to production management personnel, that is nothing but forecasting the demand, okay. He should know about the demand on the basis of a data, and he should forecast what will be the demand in the market in upcoming days, for next month, for 1 year, after 1 year, after 5 years, and on that basis he should plan, or she should plan the resources. Now demand is more, okay. Let us say after 2 months demand is more. So what should be planning for to compensate that particular demand? What should be planning of my industry? I should procure more raw material. I should procure or optimum raw material to fulfill demand. Whatever the raw material is required, that should be procured by me. Okay, procurement means what? Purchasing. Okay. Now next point is nothing but arranging for the procurement of various factors of a production. Now to fulfill, first of all, we have done the forecasting. We come to know that we have to increase our production by this much amount, and now this to fulfill the demand, we should procure the raw material or the required material, or if we are depending upon our suppliers, in that case we should provide the task or more orders to that particular suppliers. Okay, so in this manner that demand should be tackled. Then the machinery requirement is proper one in the industry, or we should procure the new machineries, or we should purchase the new machineries to accommodate that particular demand. So that things comes under the procurement. Then human power requirement, okay, that is another part. We should increase the human power or not. The decision making related to the human power, that is also the important point, part related to this management. So arranging for the procurement of a required factors of a production. Then arranging for the services such as maintenance, storekeeping, material handling, inspection and quality control, etc., that would be required to attain the target levels of a production. Okay, so once you increase the production rate, that will impact on quality also. So quality inspection also increase in that particular respect. Okay, or one should go for the 100% quality check, one should go for the 50% quality check, or one should go for the sampling quality check. So that policy, it should be revised accordingly on the basis of a demand and the requirement. Then maintenance, obviously if one machine gets failed, that will impact on the complete production. So maintenance facilities, so for that reasons, if you want to perform the breakdown maintenance after breaking the machine, if you want to perform the preventive maintenance, okay, before failure of a machine, or if you want to make all the machines ready for next 3 months without any maintenance, so that is the decision is important related to the service to the production sector. So material will be procured and it will be stored in a store department. Okay, so store, if the facilities are available to store that much material or not, or we have to procure in a batches from the supplier, so that decisions also important. Then controlling the quality, that decisions are also important, etc., that would be required to attain the target level of a production. So all these things are considered to be a services or the supporting department for the production department to achieve the target. Okay, then last point is utilizing effectively the factors of a production and service facilities available to produce the product. Now everything is available, every service departments are available ready to provide the service to production department, or for the production management, raw material is available, but utilization is also important. If you not use human power properly, that will impact a more cost for the production. If you not utilize the raw material properly, then also that also effect on the cost of a product. Then energy, same related to the energy. If you not utilize the proper energy, then that also effect on the final product cost. Okay, so effective utilization means optimum utilization, not more not less. So on that principle the companies are running. Okay, not more not less, that is optimum level of utilization should be there, so that the cost of a product will not get diverted from mean cost. Okay, cost of a product will not get diverted from mean cost or pre-assumed cost of the product. Okay, pre-assumed cost of the product. Now is there any problem, any question in functions of a production management and personnel? If not, you can just put up your roll numbers in the chat box, and you can leave the meeting. Okay, already I have taken 5 minutes more because you have joined 5 minutes late, and the write-up part I will cover in the next lecture. Okay, now just put up your roll numbers in the chat box. I'm going to close this meeting. So as early as possible, if you put up roll numbers in the chat box and you leave this meeting. "54, 74, 45, roll number 421. You leave the meeting as early as possible because I'm going to close the meeting. 21. If you have put up roll number, you leave the meeting.